Fred with Local 167 in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm creating this video to help apprentices mainly to learn their signals, to give them advice, something that they can watch over and over again. So signaling a piece of equipment is simple and an art at the same time. I will teach you by the book, as well as real life applications and signals to go along with them, so that you will be slightly prepared in the field. I say slightly because experience will be the fire that makes or breaks you as a great signal person. Anyone can give the thumbs down sign, but a skilled signal person can get the hook where it needs to be without treating the crane like a yo-yo or one of those water drinking birds on a glass. This is to help you understand how to give clear and accurate signals to become efficient. That means not booming down, then up, and down again, but rather landing on the bullseye the first attempt. There are a few things to keep in mind when giving hand signals. How fast do you want to go? Is there anything above you or below you that you could hit? Is the load off the ground? How far are you going? Could you hit or kill someone? Take all of this into account before you start signaling. When signaling equipment, it is always best to plan where you are going and how you're going to get there. It will save you a lot of trouble. The first one I'm going to teach you is nice and simple. It's called hoist or cable up. Cabling up moves the hook up towards the tip of the crane. To do cable up, with your arm extended away from your body and your forearm vertical and a finger pointed to the sky, move your forearm in a circle. The size of the circle will get larger when the distance between you and the operator grows. If you are 100 feet away from the operator, it may be hard for them to see small movements. Be sure you signal towards the operator. You can look the other way, keeping an eye on what you're doing, but have your signal hand where the operator can see you. There's another one, it's called cable up slowly. Simply put your other hand over your finger as you make circles. Another common signal is get up on it. Now this one's not part of the official hand signals by ASME 30.5B, I think. But this is one that ironworkers use all the time. We're always in a hurry. We're always trying to be the fastest and efficient. It's just part of the trade. So when you're slinging iron, you don't want to say cable up slowly or anything like that. It's if the load is off the ground and everything is clear, you can tell the operator get up on it, which means cable up really fast, and then thrust your finger hand into the air vigorously. The other one that we use is bump. If you're close to where you want to be and need a bump or a touch up, then thrust your hand into the air quickly and bring it back down quickly. This also is not part of the international, but it is one that you will use all the time as needed. If there's one thing I've learned is that a nod, a bob, a shake of the head, or a tap of the foot, or a raise of the foot will convey your meaning clearly with a good operator. You may even have to tell the operator before to make sure they understand your gesture. In the field, there will be plenty of times where your hands are full with your tools and the iron that you're connecting or equipment that you're setting, where all you could do is tap or raise your foot to give signals. Hoist or cable down. Cabling down is the opposite of cable up in every way. There's more of a hazard of being pinched or crushed. When working in a large group, it is always a good idea to yell what you plan on doing before you do it. Check with your brothers and sisters that are involved with the task that they are clear and will not get hurt by whatever signal you're about to give. Cable down. Arm extended away from body, forearm extended 90 degrees from your body, and your hand and finger pointed down to the ground. Cable down slowly. Place your other hand under your signaling hand as you're signaling. Bump down. Thrust your hand into a quick motion. You can nod your head forward quickly once. Now we'll go over hand signals dealing with the boom and what to watch out for when signaling. Boom up. Arm extended 90 degrees away from you and make the thumbs up sign. Pretty simple. Boom up slowly. Arm extended 90 degrees away from you. Make the thumbs up sign. With your other hand flat, hold it over the signaling hand. Be sure that your hand is visible to the operator. Many times I have seen signal persons get so focused on what they are doing, their hand is either sloppy or hidden behind their bodies. With everything going on, you have to learn to be mindful of where your hands are when signaling or doing any type of work. Boom down. Arm extended 90 degrees away from you and make the thumbs down sign. Easy to remember. Boom down slowly. Arm extended 90 degrees away from you. Make the thumbs down sign. With your other hand flat, hold it under your signal hand. Let's talk about what happens when you give the boom up and boom down signals. When you boom up, the load is lifted up and moves towards the crane. As you may imagine, with a lot of boom, you get flex. The boom flexes with movement. The load can continue to move towards the crane after they have stopped. Be sure to account for this. Most operators who are worth their gears can catch the load and stop it where you want it. When you boom down, the load moves down and away from the crane. Anytime you do anything with downward movement, you run the risk of crushing something or someone. It is your responsibility to be aware of everything. Ask a buddy to spot or watch an area if need be. When booming down, you also have to be aware of the boom hitting something. The operator will most definitely be watching the boom, but there aren't a bunch of crane fail videos because they are perfect. Sometimes you will be pushing the envelope and will need someone to watch the boom and call all stop if need be. Something you can do to make the operation smooth is start with just the boom down signal until you get close, then place your other hand under the boom signal so they can start slowing down before you have to stop them. The load will hardly sway and you will look like a boss as well as the operator. Most of them want to be known as a smooth operator, and a lot of times it's up to us as the signal person to make it so. Another option is to get creative to make things smoother. When giving one of the slow signals, hold the slow hand away from the signaling hand to reflect the distance to which you will tell them to stop. Signaling takes place in many different settings, different job sites, from slinging iron, setting equipment, setting presses, or flying stuff around a nuclear reactor. You have to adjust according to each setting. You certainly can't treat equipment like iron or go wild around a reactor or a suppression pool. You could be fired, banned from a site, fined, or have your signal calls pulled and be a disgrace to our trade. Now let's talk about boom up, hold the load. Extend your arm 90 degrees away from you. Make the thumbs up sign and open and close your other 4 fingers. Now, boom down, hold the load. Extend your arm 90 degrees away from you. Make the thumbs down sign, open and close your other 4 fingers continually. As the boom is moving down, the operator is cabling up in order to keep the load at the same elevation. Boom up, hold the load, moves the load toward the crane at the same elevation. If you overshoot your target, you can now move it back and have it float across the floor to make it easier to place more precisely. As the boom is moving up, the operator is cabling down in order to keep that load at the same elevation. Swing. Extend arm 90 degrees away from the body with your hand pointing in the direction you want the crane to swing. Now, this was a pinch on our apprentice coordinator when he went to take the riggers course. The guy faulted him because he stuck his whole hand out like this to swing, which we always do. I'm not going to lie. But when taking that test, they want you to use as directed in the ASME B30.5. You use a finger. So remember your settings, okay? All right. Be sure that you don't get distracted and let your arm or finger point in random direction. Of course, you have to remember that the load will have momentum as it swings. So give the operator time to catch the load. As the crane is swinging, the load is trailing after the boom. If the crane stops suddenly, the load will continue moving and pass the boom. Then you'll have a swinging effect. Catching the load, the operator has to stop, let the load catch up to the tip of its boom, and then swing with the load in order to catch it. Then bring it back to where you stopped it. If they do not catch the load as it passes the boom, it could mess up the sheave at the tip of the boom where the cable comes over it, or possibly torquing the boom sections, kind of like a twisting motion on the boom. Now let's talk about retract the boom. Two-handed, both fists in front of your body, thumbs facing away from each other.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Then swing arms out and in. Retract the boom, one-handed. One fist tapping your chest, thumb facing toward the crane. Extend the boom, two-handed. Both fists in front of your body, thumbs facing away from each other. Swing arms out and in. Extend the boom, one-handed. One fist in front of your chest, thumb pointed toward you, tapping your chest. Like this. These are helpful when you are holding the tagline and signaling, or you have your hand on the iron and signaling, and you want them to move slowly. Then rub your hard hat, like you would with a bald man's head, and give your signal, either it's boom, swing, cable, or anything else you want to slow down. It is a common addition to the signals. Also, you can rub your hands together before you signal. If your hands will be full, rub your hands together and slowly cable down. I think it's stupid when people say, cable down slowly, and move their hands 100 miles an hour. Sends mixed signals. Main block. Tap your hard hat if you want to use the main block. The bigger one. The main block will carry more weight, but move slower. Use it as needed, not as the go-to. Whip line. Tap your elbow. The whip line has a single cable going to the headache ball. It moves faster, but has a lower lifting capacity than the main block. We mainly use the whip line when slinging iron on a structural job or any lighter loads. Dog it off. Clasp your hands in front of you. This means to lock it all down for the operator. To be on hold, or if you will be a few minutes, this is a good signal to let them know it's going to be a few minutes. This is when the operator will usually go to the bathroom if they have to, or stretch, or whatever they want to do during that time. Travel. Both tracks. Make 2 fists in front of your chest. Spin them in front of your chest in a circular motion in the direction you want the operator to travel, forward or backwards. Travel. 1 track. Hold 1 fist still, whichever track you want to stay still. Now the easier and more important signals. Stop. Stick your arm out 90 degrees from your body, palm down and flat. Move your arm back and forth. First off, the rule is that anyone can stop an action if they see something unsafe. It could save a life or limb. In reality, you better be darn sure before you do it. You'll get an attaboy if you're right, and cussed out if you're wrong. Happily take the verbal abuse, because that means that your brother or sister was not in danger, and that you at least were willing to do something about it to protect them. Just being real. When signaling stop, you want to make your gesture visible. Wave that arm. All stop, or emergency stop. Wave both your arms in front of your chest, in and out, palms down. This is universal. You could call it the all shite signal.